Uh, uh, Hello, everybody, and I'm going to explain a little bit about what our chapter does and what's involved, and how it all kind of fits into piece with the national group, and as well as our centers of excellence, which we just touched on a little bit, what our center our excellence do. First of all, my disclosure is I was gene tested in 2005 and had a 42 repeat. I guess I still have the 42 repeat. It hasn't changed. Um, and quickly got involved with the chapter and been a very strong advocate in research. And as Liza mentioned, I've been involved in a dozen plus different research studies over the years and continue to participate. Just had my clarity lumbar puncture a few weeks ago. So, and I'm still here. And second of all, a big thing about our chapter, and I forgot to put a slide in here about it, is we were recognized last year as the chapter of the year out of 50 plus chapters across the country just for things that we do, our support groups, our educational events, our fundraising events and such. So we have a very exciting chapter here in Colorado, and it's been fun to watch it grow and ebb and flow over the years. This is our Rocky Mountain Board of Directors. We got a really good group of folks right now. We have people that are involved from Grand Junction. Monica there puts on the Team Hope Walk in Grand Junction, and she's our vice president. A lot of these people are here in the room. So if you want to talk to anybody about being involved or getting involved with the chapter, please let one of us know. Our overall quick mission, and this is something we came up with. As she mentioned, I was a planner, so I always come with like mission statements, and this is to improve the lives of everyone affected by HD. In the Rocky Mountain chapter, in particular, our community here. What we do, we provide support through our support groups that we have. We have two well, actually, we have three. We have two for folks that are affected by HD. We do one national one and one that's a local. And then we also have a one that is for caregivers that meets on a quarterly basis. So we also have a social worker. So if you want to talk to a social worker and getting involved in some of the things with our centers of excellence, I'll talk a little bit more detail on the centers of excellence in a few slides. But our the social worker, we just have a new one. Beth, can you raise her hand? We just she just started with us in here in the last month, but she's here to get to know everybody, and she can get you started down those paths and who to talk to at our centers of excellence and such. And she works for us. We have her for 20 hours a week, which is usually about twice as much as any other chapter does in the country. We do advocate for change. I've met in the past with my local congressman to talk to him about HD to get him to support the HD Parity Act. We've had other people from our community meet with their representatives. Um, Kind of taking a different approach right now on the national level as far as advocacy. And it's always a challenge during election years because you have a whole new Congress that comes in and you got to kind of convince them all over again if there are new people coming in and such. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of things coming up on the advocacy side of things coming up after the elections and into the year 2025. Just build awareness. One of the things that we've done with our social worker in the past is get them out in the community, give them chances to meet with law enforcement, emergency responders, the medical community, also care facilities to help them understand what HD is. So when they see people with HD or people, that's something that they can consider and they've heard about it. Raise funds that support the research and the family services, such as our support groups, things that we do here. I'll talk about some of the fundraising here in a couple slides. And then amazing research that we have going on. And all this together will keep that hope alive and our team hope rolling along. A little bit about the social worker again, just provides that. We have a hotline that you can call and get in contact with our social worker if you want to get involved in genetic testing or have questions about it, what it's involved. Um, Again, our support groups across the state on this evaluation that that was passed out to you during the break. Please take a chance to take a look at that. We're trying to get the support groups going back and having an in-person opportunity to get together for educational events as well as in-person support groups. We have meetings here in Denver, over in Grand Junction, and then we have the virtual meetings also. So we assist and partner with our local centers of excellence. I kind of oversee quarterly meetings that I have with both Dr. Forbes and Dr. Kumar, and now Dr. Salinas, and talking and making sure that we're meeting all the needs of our HD community here in the region. Building that outreach, getting out and talking with folks. Around the country. Man, the slides slid around a little bit, but another big thing is working with those long-term care facilities, and then also one of the things that we're really starting to strengthen up is our working with the National Youth Alliance. The slide there, the picture's kind of slid up there, but that's a real big goal of ours. We used to have a very active youth. Component to our chapter, and now we're trying to get that started back up again. Again, some of the information about the HDPRD Act, which is still moving forward, the Healthcare Reform Act. We have gotten some hard fought gains. We had some health insurance access that got improved. And my understanding on this is that there was somebody that had an HD connection back in Washington with one of those departments, and they were able to speed some of this stuff through and get some of the healthcare things moved a little bit faster for people filing for Medicaid and such. Uh, we educate again through our food for thought education. So that's something that we started here in this chapter. And we continue to try to push where we have an hour type educational event that's provided with food, so that on your way home from work you can stop in, grab a bite to eat, and then learn a little bit about HD. And we have different topics that range about financial planning, insurance coverages, all those kind of interesting questions that people always have because of the complexities of getting those kinds of things when you have an HD. We lead these annual symposiums and work in collaborations with the centers of excellence to put these on. We typically have this once a year. And that's another important thing when you're filling out your evaluation. Please put down what type of topics you were wanting to have. What we got last year is we had a few of them that mentioned the IVF. So when we started getting together and talking about that this year and putting this together, I mentioned we got quite a few questions or about IVF and maybe having a presentation on that. So that's we do pull from these topics, and they also help us give us ideas for those food for thought events. So please, if you have things that you would like to see or hear a conversation on, we can get that on the board here. Here's some of the things that we do for raising money through our events. We have a celebration of hope that's kind of held over at a wine bar. Our next one will probably be here in spring of 2025. The Heroes and Villains 5K race for Huntington's disease is held nearby here over at Denver Central Park, and it's held the beginning of September each year. And the Fairway of Hopes Golf Tournament is held out at the beautiful Arrowhead Golf Course out by Roxborough, and that's held in July. And Gentleman back there, Justin, will be able to, if you want to, if you're a golfer, that's your thing. Um, we have fundraising appeals. We kind of go out and meet with different people to get support for these different events. We have an an amaryllis sale every fall, and a number of other third-party events. I know Meg was talking about having a fundraiser next year. She's one of our new members on our board, and doing a yoga event coming up here in 2025. So stay tuned for more details on that. And then just recently, we started again our drag queen bingo, which we sold out all our tickets during a snowstorm. So we're looking for a bigger venue to increase that. Who would have guessed? Um, Again, we just are a very outgoing, embracive community with our chapter. So if you'd like to be involved, you can get involved, but we're here to support you in any way you need. So reach out to the many resources that we provide. And you can find things on the web. Just type in Rocky Mountain chapter HDSA, and you'll find our information there. I've covered a lot of this stuff already. But on to our centers of excellence. This is a really big thing that HDSA started, I want to say about 22 years ago, because I heard about it when I first picked up the phone in 2003 to find out about getting gene tested. And I called the HDSA Rocky Mountain social worker at that time. And they go, "Oh, we got this new thing called Centers of Excellence." And I go, "What's that?" And they go, "Well, the Center of Excellence, there's there's people that know all about HD. They're the experts. They'll be able to advise you. That's the where to go through to get testing." So honestly, and I'll just share my a little bit of my personal experience. I went in to get tested and find out about that. Met with that team of experts that interdisciplinary team that included a genetic counselor, a psychologist, or yeah, psychologist, a, a neurologist, and a social worker to just kind of find out where I was with this in my head, as well as financially, and as I moved into the process of getting tested. And they have a certain protocol that they go through to get tested. So you just don't get hooked up with and have somebody mail you a gene test. Some of the horror stories that I've heard about people finding out if they're gene positive or not. They're very methodical and thoughtful about this and help you weigh what all the different implications of this information might be. So I will plug Centers of Excellence until I'm not able to do that any longer. And we are so lucky here. We have two through a lot of effort of our board to keep these. They are supported by a grant yearly that comes from our national HDSA, and our chapter writes a letter of recommendation to our national office to support these two centers of excellence. The only other metro area in the country that has two is Chicago. So fortunately, here in the middle of the plains and the mountains of the Rocky Mountain West, we have two located right here, and they both have are both amazing facilities. The the Movement Disorders Foundation over by Swedish Hospital. They were one of the first ones that were established. That's where I got my gene testing. And actually, Dr. Kumar was recognized for that in New Orleans as one of the first centers of excellence that was established. It's also one of the few or one of two in the country out of 53 that is a nonprofit. It's not a university based, which just allows him to get a lot of involvement from the drug companies to get extra people into different studies. We also have monthly clinics At both of those centers, that's what the grant primarily is used for, is support these monthly clinics. They're free clinics to people. You just need to get in contact with those centers to come in and get some evaluations and have a conversation with folks at those clinics. Get the genetic testing using that HDSA protocol. And they also help us with these types of events here. Uh, we have here in Colorado some of the largest research trial enrollments in the world. We are constantly having the most people in the generation study, the most people in some of these enroll studies and the clarity study. And that's just because we have a very active research community here as far as people providing the research as well as people wanting to participate in the research. And I know they bring in people from all over the country here to participate in these trials.